So for those who don't know our story, here goes everything, right?
Okay, so let's take it way back to October 2018.
Okay, so October 2018, I was in kind of a rough place. I had just gotten off a breakup and, I was kind of sad. I was kind of lonely. So I thought, hey, why don't I try using Tinder? So I went on Tinder and I happened to match with this beautiful girl.
And not only that, he also matched with my cousin.
Okay,
Ooh,
so that's
juicy
that's
cuento.
okay, so that's more details we're gonna share later. For Danny's case, I think you just got off law school. Like
Yeah,
you
so I was in my second year of law school, and then, well, I failed and I quote unquote got kicked out. And instead of continuing, the law path, I decided to kind of soul search and figure out what I really wanted in life, because I figured that, law school, it wasn't for me. So, on a whim, very impulsively, my cousin, who was already doing a program in Spain, I decided to join her. And so we were together for 8 months in Spain. And in this program, I spent my days teaching kids English. Yeah. So I figured that I needed kind of like a break from the normal Philippine life. And so, yeah, I went on a Euro trip and I found love.
Yeah, so she went on Tinder.
I actually wasn't gonna go on Tinder. Athena, my cousin, made me download Tinder because she was like, you know what, you're only here once, might as well have fun. And then in my head, I was like thinking, na, might as well, if I'm here for 8 months, kind of like experiment and meet people. And in my head, Spain was like my training ground for like dating. So whoever I would end up with, I'd probably like break up with them because, I figured that I was going to match with a foreigner. And then so by the time I came back, I'd be like, oh, very experienced. So it was
That
kind
didn't
of like,
go according to plan.
yeah,
Yeah, little did she know that I used to live in the Philippines for a very long time.
yeah,
And she ended up matching with
yeah.
kind of a
Small world.
Filipino boy. And I used to live in Cebu. So where Danny currently is, her hometown, I used to live there for 7 years. So I know many of her friends. I know many of the people there. So she was very shocked to match with someone from Cebu.
Yeah,
Like
I
she's trying
went
to
to
get away from
Spain.
Cebu. Yeah.
I went to Spain just to match with a Filipino boy.
Yeah. So anyway, so what happened? We matched and I found her very beautiful because she was very different from the typical Spanish girl. I guess once you're in an environment for a while, you get used to everyone. Nothing becomes unique. And then here comes this unique girl and I'm just like, whoa. So I matched with her and I also swiped right on her cousin because she said she was from the Philippines. So I thought, okay, well, that might be cool. Danny did not mention on her Tinder profile that she was from the Philippines. So I didn't know where she was from. I guessed she was from the Philippines, but as far as I knew, I just thought she was, different and unique. The story got interesting because I started talking to them both at around the same time.
You talked to Athena first.
I talked to Athena first.
Yeah.
I remember my opening line was I think it was like, hey, this must mean I'm your boyfriend now.
No, you said, guess you're my girlfriend now. Or like, does this mean you're my girlfriend
yeah.
now? Athena was super flirty. She was like, close. We're basically married.
Yeah. It was very fun and playful. And
yeah.
I hope you didn't get bothered by that.
No, it wasn't. I found it funny.
Anyway, and then with Danny, I think I kind of just went straight to the point. You told me you were from the Philippines, or was it on your profile?
No, like your first line was "Kumusta ka?" And that's
Yeah,
why
I know.
I chatted with you.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
I was like, oh, he's Filipino.
Or I know my shit. Anyway, yeah, and then it was really funny because they were telling me they're like, oh yeah, we're from the Philippines. We live in Algeciras. And then I'm like, how many Filipinos are there in Algeciras? Is that a Filipino like town? Like, do many Filipinos go there? And then later on in the conversation, they're like, yeah, I'm here with my cousin. And then I'm like, oh crap.
Yeah, but the thing is, neither of us knew that we matched with you, right?
So both of you,
we were both just
unaware.
chatting with you because we were both at work. And then Athena sends me this guy a screenshot of, your profile. And she says like, oh, look, I matched with someone named Arion. I was like, oh, okay, cool. On her screenshot, it was like a different profile photo from mine. So I didn't know that you were the same person.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I said like, oh, I think I matched with someone with the same name. And she was like, dude, it's the same person. I was like, what? And then she goes, into stalker mode, and then she tells me like, this guy's from Cebu. I was like, dibs.
Yeah, she called dibs very early.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then it was really funny because like the whole reveal moment was so surprising because I was like, "Is your cousin Danny?" When talking to Athena, right? And she's like, "Oh my God, yes, you matched with her too." I'm like, "Yeah." After
And no,
matching,
you know what's funny? Your conversation with Athena was so long, and it was
Yeah.
like you were asking each other like deep questions and stuff. And with
We were?
me, yeah, you
can't
were.
recall.
You were. I read it.
Oh,
And with me, like our convo was so short. It was kind of like, oh, what do you do? Why are you here? And then after a while, I think one of us said like, you wanna transfer on like WhatsApp or Messenger?
yeah. So we spoke for about a month on
I
WhatsApp
think so, yeah.
before we met, and that was fun. And we asked each other so many interesting questions. I think 20 questions or something.
Okay, I initiated 20 questions as we were, getting to know each other. Partly because I just didn't want like any awkward, those awkward situations where you don't know what to say anymore.
The thing
Yeah,
is, there was awkward silence because it took her forever to reply to my
yeah, okay,
messages.
that was funny, because we just moved in, so we didn't have internet, and every time I needed to talk to him, it would either be while I was at work, which was only like 4 hours a day, or I had to go to this like nearby building, and I just like leech off their Wi-Fi, and that was the only time I could ever reply to him. I think it would take me like, for example, if he was like the last person to chat, I would reply maybe like the next day.
Anyway, so that was good. That was fun. We had good conversations, and then we decided to meet in where I was staying, a town called Estepona. It's very beautiful.
It's I think 30 minutes away.
Yeah, actually, she was supposed to meet her friends, but she used it like as a double purpose.
No,
So she was
okay.
like, "Hey,
The reason why I wanted to meet you initially was because I was trying to like grow my YouTube channel, and I wanted you for a video, and that's
she
why I was
wanted
like, hey,
content."
yeah, for the hashtag content. So I was like, hey, you want to meet? Because I'm gonna film this video. Do you mind if you star in it? So our first meeting was actually supposed to be like a filming session. Remember?
But it didn't end up being
It
a
didn't
filming
end up.
session.
Yeah, because we
Yeah.
lost the light already.
Yeah. Anyway, what happened was she was with a group of friends or like
Okay,
auxiliaries,
so
right?
we're called auxiliaries. That's us in the program. I don't know, coincidentally, a lot of them were staying in Estepona. And then they were like, hey, we're gonna meet this Saturday. And then so Athena was like, okay, count us in. So everyone went, and then I was supposed to meet you, but then you were late.
Yeah, I
So
was
so
late
we I
because
was hanging out with, I don't know, I think we were like maybe 7 people. And
okay.
Athena was the only person in contact with you because I didn't have a SIM card. So like
Mhm.
anytime I wanted to like hear from you, I'd tell Athena like, hey Athena, can you like ask him now like where he is?
Okay, reason why I was late was because I had family coming over from overseas. So I kind of had to like prep the house, make sure everything was right for them. And then I had to go to my date. So, well, it wasn't really a date. It was like a meeting with
Yeah.
friends and stuff, right? So I arrived fashionably late, but I, kind of like prepped up. I wore blazer and everything, even if it was really hot. But, I really wanted to look like good for her. And I think you guys were sitting outside an ice cream parlor. You had
Yeah.
already finished your ice cream and everything, waiting for me. I felt so bad. And then I arrive and I start, we start talking, we start chatting.
And
We
then
actually didn't talk in the beginning.
No, we didn't. I was so scared actually, like before meeting you, because everyone was kind of like, "Oh, you're meeting him from Tinder, like be careful." And then, like, I had no idea where you would be coming from, and I was kind of like hoping that you'd come from like in front of me so I could like assess. But then, lo and behold, he came from like behind. So I'm just talking with my friends or like listening in on the conversation, and then suddenly I hear my name, and then I turn around, it's him. I was kind of like very caught off guard.
She was very beautiful on the first date.
Oh, thank you.
So we ended up leaving the ice cream place. We started walking
Oh no, no,
towards.
no! While we were in the ice cream place, the funny thing is we never talked.
Yeah.
He was
Okay. So we
talking
never
to
talked.
everyone in
Yeah.
the group. I think maybe a group of like 5, 6, 7 people. And I was kind of just, quiet in the corner.
In my defense, they were all kind of grilling me and asking me
Yeah,
tons of questions. So like
they
I
were
was just like, okay, is this gonna happen?
like
Okay.
you literally sat on the other end, but facing me. I was kind of like just trying to gauge you. I was
Mhm.
observing like how you would like talk and stuff because that was also the first time that I've ever heard you speak.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, okay, he speaks good English.
Yeah. And then what happened? So okay, after the whole conversation and them getting to know me more than Danny getting to know me, we ended up walking and we were going towards your friend's
apartment.
one of the guys, apartment.
Yeah.
But before that, we were supposed to get some food for the
Oh, because instead of eating out for dinner, we were just gonna
Yeah.
cook in our friend's house.
the thing is nobody knew how to cook.
Yeah, I was kind of in charge of the food, and if it were up to me, I would have just bought frozen pizza and I would just bake it.
Yeah. When they told me that, I was like, not this is not happening. So we went to the supermarket and like I kind of like took command. I'm like, okay, Athena, come with me, blah blah blah. And then we just like went everywhere and just got everything we needed. And we were gonna make like a rosemary grilled chicken. And I think Danny was like kind of just watching me. Like, what?
Yeah,
He's
I was
everywhere.
kind of like a puppy. I was just following you around, like, oh.
Yeah.
Then I didn't know how to cook at all.
Yeah, I think
zero cooking experience.
She
Kind of like,
got most of her cooking skills from me. Anyway, we went to the apartment and everyone kind of just chilled. And I remember Athena was in charge of rice.
yeah.
Like such a simple thing, rice. I'm like, okay, Athena, make sure you make the rice good. Like, yeah. I know how to make the rice. And then so like while the rice is cooking, everyone else is just having drinks and sitting down. I'm preparing the chicken, cutting it,
I was
slicing
helping.
it. Yeah, Danny was my assistant.
Yeah.
She was the only one standing next to me the whole time. And
So we had
took
like a
that time to
little
actually talk.
intimate moment
Yeah.
while preparing the food.
Yeah.
Those are like our first like legit conversation with each other, right?
Yeah, kind of. No, I think we spoke like along the way. But
Yeah,
we were kind of like
yeah,
more
but
relaxed
we were
now.
kind of like walking.
Yeah. I remember I told you to do things for me, like, okay, wash that. Okay,
Yeah,
pass me the knife.
yeah.
And then I was so annoyed because her friend didn't even have salt. He didn't even
All
have
right,
salt.
yeah. He
Of all
had
the
like the
things-
worst tasting salt. It was kind of bitter.
Yeah, it was
I'm not
like
sure what that
this-
was.
It was more like a MSG than salt. Anyway, so I had to make do with the poor materials, so the dinner didn't come out as good as I hoped
Oh, it was
would.
okay.
But it was okay. It was decent. And then we ended up eating and having Athena's fantastic rice. Do you want to talk about the rice?
No, I think you want to talk about the rice.
Oh
I was
God.
okay with the rice.
So her cousin Athena, Mrs. Master at making rice, ended up making super soggy
Not
rice.
super.
It was like congee, babe. It was like congee. Okay, so it didn't come out good. We had to make do with that. She was very upset. She was like, "Oh, because it's not a rice cooker." Blah blah blah. Okay, so we finished dinner, and I had to go home because I still had to prepare for my guests coming the next day. So Danny brought me down. She escorted me
and
outside.
yeah, but before that, we had
Yeah.
a couple of drinks.
Yeah, so I was kind of like, woo. And did we kiss on the first date?
Did we?
Did we? We sure did. Yeah, and then after that I went home, and yeah, that was a wrap. So that was our first date. It was really fun. I think it was very different than your typical first date. I mean, who cooks on the first date?
Yeah, and you weren't even cooking for me. You were cooking for like a bunch of people you just met.
Yeah,
A bunch
that
of
was
people
so
I just
annoying.
met actually.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was actually annoying, but
Why?
it's okay. No, annoying in the sense that nobody knew how to cook.
Oh,
But
yeah.
then I enjoyed the fact that I could kind of show off my skills. So
Yeah.
I used that as a
Yeah, I was taking mental notes
Yeah.
of like, oh, guy who
yeah,
can
it's
cook.
like opportunity.
And ever since then, the rest is history.
So
I
what else are
don't
we
think
gonna
we've
talk?
like ever since we first started talking, we've never missed a day where we haven't talked.
Yeah, unless we had a fight and then she
No, even
didn't
then.
want to talk. That's true. We never missed a day of talking.
Yeah.
If you guys want to check out the full episode, click the link on the screen or head on over to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever podcasts are available. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you soon.